Hello, everybody. Hebro77 here, and welcome to Taco Tuesday. I'm your host with the most that steals your toast, and I might even put a little bit of butter on your roast. Along with me is Sagittarically speaking, as usual. Sagittarically speaking, how you doing tonight, brother? You're muted up, brother. They can't hear you. Maybe it should be silent to speaking.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I think our intro got cut off. I think we went live late. I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I was talking the whole time and didn't realize I was still muted. I apologize.
Okay. No problem.
So, yeah, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Me, I tell you what, man. I think I seem to have found this weird portal to another dimension.
Yeah, I think I heard you talking about that earlier. What's going on with this? Is this like straight out of like the He-Man family videos, but for real this time?
Oh yeah, man, check it out. It's the real edition of the Mandela family videos.
All right, okay. So you got a portal to another dimension, huh?
A portal to a dimension. Now I have to wait a few seconds. I'm going to start it up here in a few seconds.
All right.
You have to wait. It has to see. It opens and closes.
Well, don't you gotta like do some type of like certain thing in a certain order, like lay out six?
Oh no! Wait a minute! Here it comes. It's opening. Okay. Oh my gosh! Oh no! It died. Oh. Maybe we can get a better look
back up a little bit, just to like you're getting a little too close.
No,
back it up. I think it'll work better.
That's the way That's the way this dimensional portal works. Look, see?
There you go. Oh, you're getting too close again.
No. This trust me. Just trust me. It takes a little bit of time. We just have to say some magic words. That's all it is.
Is it? What do you say? Like abracadabra, hocus pocus?
I don't know. I think I say dubracaflubra.
Okay. Open sesame, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe we should try that. But I don't know. Last night I was able to open this portal a lot easier.
There you go. It works. It keeps going away when you get closer, but when you back up, it works. Yeah.
Well,
there it is.
It should work close, though. Now, people, this is what you got to do with your toilet paper when you get some. Just waste it.
No wonder the toilet paper is so valuable. It allows us to travel into different dimensions.
That's right. Well, I was going to say, take your toilet paper and waste it on silly bits that don't go anywhere.
Okay, instead of putting silly bits of waste that go everywhere.
Right. But man, who do we have in the house tonight? I think we only got 3 watchers so far. I think it's because I don't know. We came early. They're all dumbfounded by this because we usually come on real late. Hey,
honestly, we're actually on time for a change, and we've only been live for 3 minutes. I mean, we've only told like 3 bad jokes, so we gotta wait a few more minutes. They'll come trickling in.
Hey, you hear Preliminal down there? He says humor without wisdom is just being manipulated by the dark side of the force. Well, he did say force, but I added that to it. I actually think humor, we have plenty of wisdoms in our humors, I think. At least I try.
Well, I know me personally, I've had all my wisdom teeth have came in. How about you?
Actually, no. I've managed to go 42 years without not one wisdom tooth.
Oh, shoot. Well, sounds like you are wisdomless, my friend.
But, yeah, that would make a lot of sense because, I haven't earned my wisdom yet. That's what it is.
Right.
You just got.
Well, you know what they say, duct tape is silver and silence is golden.
Hey, speaking of golden, I had some golden opportunities earlier. I'll tell you. Have you been? I'll tell you what, man. Have you been catching up on the news here lately? I guess it's kind of hard to do. You know, it's almost like it's impossible. Like everywhere you look, it's just like right in our faces. You know.
Yeah, and it's like the news isn't the news anymore. It's like what brand of deception do you prefer? I don't know. I'm feeling like some CBS deception sounds good right about now. And I think after that I'll follow it up with some CNN because they got some really good stories to tell me. And then after that I'll watch a little Fox. Yeah, and then they got a good flavor of deception over there.
Well, you
I
know
mean,
why? I
it's
mean,
just
foxes are supposed to be deceitfully clever. You know.
oh yeah. I mean, and it's all like just really the worst thing to do is just to only watch the same channel always. People who do that, they're missing out on so much of life because there's so many other varieties of lies that you could be listening to that you're just missing out on. It's like it's like if you've never had. Imagine going your whole life and never having like pistachio flavored ice cream or it's a thing. It really exists. But you would never know it if you didn't go out there and you didn't expand your horizons and try every flavor of deception. Even some like even your little local news channels, they put a little slight variety on it for you.
Huh?
It's important to stay diversified. That's what I'm.
Oh,
That's
that's what
what
you're.
I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I tried to diversify, but I don't know anything about that, so I try to keep away from it for the most part.
Right.
I
Well, if you're, I'm just saying, if you got to make sure you catch them all, kind of like Pokemon.
Oh well, yeah, catch 'em all,
Yeah.
Pokemon. Um, no, I tell you what, I watched the video earlier today, and this guy was saying, "I've tried so long to resist this, but it's you can't to sit there and say nothing would he said something along the lines of that would be you can only sit there and say nothing for so long or it just looks dumb is what he said basically. I don't know, it just looks like you're playing dumb, if you sit there and don't talk about it.
Yeah. Well, it was. How does the expression go? It was the some. I can't think of it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Um, it was the man who didn't say anything that was the last one to show his ignorance or something like that.
Well, ignorance is bliss, my friend.
No, that's true too.
Just like let's give a good example, and I wasn't going to bring this up but I might as well bring it up. An example of that is about a week ago or so when all of this stuff started warming up, so to speak, no pun intended. Um, but as I was going on Facebook, as I was going on YouTube, as I was turning on my television set, this stuff's all over the place, and they were talking about the symptoms and this and that and blah blah blah. And so, what happens when you're sitting there with all that information? Then you start feeling your forehead. You might have a little cough. You might have a little sore throat or something. And even though it might just be a sinus infection or something, but your mind goes to all these places, and the mental projection of it all just kind of makes you actually sick. If you think you're going to be sick, then you are going to be sick. And I think that's what a whole part of it was. I felt like I was coming down with something, but in reality, once I sat there and I quit, oh, there goes Saggy. Oh, well, he'll be back. I'd like to complete my thought though. Um, something went cuckoo with his internet, I guess. I don't know. But I won't finish my thought till he comes back because only he can know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I want to address. Um, oh, there he is. Oh, thank goodness, man. What happened, my brother?
I don't know. I was closing windows, and I accidentally closed the wrong window, I think.
Oh no, that ain't good for nobody.
Well, we got drafty in here.
Oh, closing windows. I get it. But no, hey, to finish my thought real quick.
Yeah, last I heard was you weren't feeling well, but you felt like you were making yourself not feel well.
Right. I was thinking all of these negative thoughts, and when you think negatively, you get negative thoughts, and it can always also cause a physical illness. And what I noticed is when I turned off the TV, when I quit getting on Facebook, when I quit YouTube for a while, quit watching videos on YouTube for a while, I started getting better. I started feeling better. I started feeling like my old self again, and my temperature actually went down. So,
Huh.
it really is, a lot of it is in the mindset. I'm not saying the virus isn't real. Obviously, it's very real, but
Well, yeah, and you can't. I mean, of course, happy thoughts and rainbows aren't the cure for it, but at the same time, you're sitting there watching all of that on the news and absorbing all of that negative garble, putting that in your brain. That's a lower frequency. I mean, that's going to bring you to a lower frequency over the course of time, and just like even though you turn it off, it's going to take time for it to shake it off. And so, yeah, you got to take a break from it. And gradually, probably started to feel better, and then you got to consciously kind of try to lift your spirits. I mean, maybe play some what?
hold on, man. Read go-karts, Bob. Read. Hold on, I'm gonna mute up. I can't take it. Read go-karts, Bob. Comment, man. Read his
Well,
comment.
I'm not in there, so give me a second. What's he saying? Why can't you just say it out loud?
No, just read it, man. You know what I'm saying. I'm not
All
gonna
right.
repeat
Well,
it.
I'll try to get there.
I won't. I can't.
You can't, huh? Oh, he's probably commenting on our background picture.
Well, no. Well, maybe, but check it out. Read what he says right there.
You know what's better than roses on your piano, tulips on your organ?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, of course. I pronounced tulips wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, okay. It took me a second, but I figured it out.
Okay, good. We don't have to repeat it then. All right.
No.
Oh yes, go kart, Bob. You crack me up, brother. Oh man, that's good. It's a good, and you know what? It's good to laugh in these times of destitute. I feel like we don't laugh enough in this world. I mean, if you don't, I read a comment on Facebook the other day. I'll give you an example. They were talking about the coronavirus, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are taking this lightly, and you're making fun of it, and blah blah blah, and this is a very serious deal, and I hope all of you get. I hope the ones of you that are laughing make fun of this, you won't be laughing when your loved ones and friends are all dying." And I didn't respond to it because it's like, what are you going to say to
Well, I
that?
mean, that guy, he's already a hot mess. There's nothing you can do for him.
Well, I mean, it's like what I did kind of respond to it. I said,
uh,
"Well, you have to. We're using the laughter and the humor to ease people. We're using it to relieve the stress. We're using it to not be scared. We're using it to help ourselves heal." And
okay.
they didn't comment back after that. What I really wanted to say was, "Don't worry, we'll all laugh after you're dead." But I didn't. I resisted it, and I didn't say it. I knew that would be a horrible, terrible thing to say.
Right. Well, yeah. And honestly, I don't know. There's just so much. There's just so much. It's hard to really say what is real and what is not. The more I watch the news, the more I realize that I don't have a clue, my man. I'm not even sure what's up, what the difference between up from down right now as far as this coronavirus thing is concerned. I mean, you start to think maybe you might kind of sort of have it figured out, but you look at the actual numbers versus the rate of panic and how much it's affecting our workforce, our economy, our family life, our ability to get groceries, and you compare that to the actual numbers of people who are actually, dying or getting sick from it, not just here but nationwide. It really just doesn't make sense for all this panic. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's a. To me, it just really seems obvious that the media is juicing it for all that it's worth. I don't know if it's for a ratings game or if they're just going for some type of new type of um, way to have more governmental control at the end of the day. I don't know what the hidden agenda is, but it's obvious that there's, like I said the other day, there's more than meets the eye.
Oh yeah, you said that on our celebration show, didn't you?
Yeah, I said it the other day, but that's really what I believe. I believe that there's some kind of hidden agenda going on in the background, some type of power struggle, some political play. I mean, even this like
Yeah,
relief package that they're supposed to be giving us, where they're sending
yeah,
out $1,000 to every citizen, that Trump's trying to get going or whatever, and then 500 for each kid. Every
right.
time they put it up to
Mhm.
run it through the House or the Senate or Congress or whatever, the Democrats or some other party or one of the two parties, I
I
don't
want
get.
to
I'm
hold
not
on.
getting caught up in the political
Right,
part
I
of it,
want to
but
address that real quick.
yeah,
I
but
want to address.
but but they keep trying to put pork in it. They keep trying to put extra. One party keeps trying to add all these little extra money for this, for that, for this other stuff that is totally unrelated. They're trying to, how they always do up there and on Capitol Hill. They like to try to throw in as much pork as they can when they know something that's going to can get pushed through quick. They like to try to slide some type of other crap that don't belong in the bill onto it to get when it's getting approved without everybody being able to have a chance to naysay it. And I swear that's the only reason why it hasn't been approved yet. It should have went through Congress 3 or 4 or 5 days ago.
You're right, and I do agree with you and everything, but I do want to address one thing though. I want to address that the views and opinions expressed on this show, that we're not trying to be political, we're not trying to talk, and
Yeah, this isn't a political show.
some people might get, kind of upset about, especially the photograph I got here in the background. But I got to tell you, this has
This is
nothing to
not the
do.
place to come if you're easily offended.
Right.
Or our goal is
And
not to offend you,
no,
but we're not going to not say what we feel at risk of offending you.
right. And I just want to say that that photo that I've got in the background has nothing to do with politics or nothing political. I just thought it was funny. I just
Yeah,
thought
it's just
it was
funny because it's Taco Tuesday and there's a big giant taco and two goofballs in the picture. I mean, what's funnier than that?
funny. Right. It's but I just wanted to address that fact because, and the reason why I bring it up is because here in a little bit in the show, I want to play a little sound. It's got to be a sound clip because I can't really show a video because it's CNN, or is it CNN, or no, Fox News?
I think Tucker's on Fox, but he's if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna show a little clip of Tucker Carlson, and
Okay.
I think it makes sense what he's saying in the long run when he's talking about how the whole situation was handled and how the president's doing the best job that he can do with what he has to work with, and how certain parties, I'm not going to mention any countries or anything like that, but how certain ones lied to us in the very beginning, and quite frankly, he thinks they're handling it wrong, and I happen to agree with him on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can watch the clip. Sounds like a plan.
So I
I
just
haven't seen it yet, but I'll be interested in seeing what it has to say. I'm familiar with Tucker Carlson. I've seen some of his stuff already recently, so I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, it should be, man. But no, I just wanted to address that. And hey, you know what? While we're here, real quick, why don't we give this room a quick shout out? And
All right.
it'll be a quick shout out. We got Preliminal was in here. I don't know if he's still here or not. He might not be, but who knows? Go Kart Bob is here. Michael Fontaine, good old Armor Up, our friend, partner, and brother from another mother. Good old Armor Up. Nice to see you, buddy. And of course, Michael Fontaine is here. Michael Fontaine tried to bring me some interesting pictures the other night, but it didn't go through. Something went wrong. But hey, anytime you want to send something, just go ahead and send it, and we'll see what we can do. But remember, as I say, we got to get it up before the show. And I'm getting a phone call. Hey, whoever's calling me, I'm live. You don't call me while I'm live.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. It wasn't me. I wasn't calling you.
I'll tell you what, I forgot to mention Lorraine Lamore. Lorraine Lamore, how you doing? Good to see you here as well. And I think that's all we have so far. So there you go, people. There's your shout out. You can leave it or take it. But, if you don't like it, then I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
All right.
That was a good shout out, wasn't it?
Heck yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, before I get this clip shown, do you have any comments or wishes for people out there that might be listening that might have missed our 1-year anniversary celebration on Shifty Sunday?
Yeah, I just have a clip I want you to play. I put it in Taco Tuesday at some point throughout the course.
You really did? You did? You do for real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. Yeah, hey, let me just go grab that real quick.
All right.
It'll probably take a minute, but let me just go grab that. This computer's running a might bit slow. There we go. That's weird. It popped up in that window. Before I play the clip, do you want to set it up before I play it? Like, what's this clip all about?
Okay. Well, it's a metaphorical clip, and metaphorically speaking, instead of sagittarically speaking, pardon the pun, the cat is the people of the United States. The flashlight, the flashlight is the coronavirus,
Okay,
and the shadow is the media.
Oh, I see.
All right.
Well, let me go ahead. I've got it on here, but it's on a loop. Let me go ahead and pause it.
All right.
And let's wind it back. It's only 16 seconds long, so
yeah, let it play once or twice, a couple times at least.
Okay, I guess I could do that.
All right.
Let me.
So the cat is the American people. The flashlight is the virus, and the shadow is the hand shadow is the media.
All right. So yeah, we I think we've got that part so far.
All right.
Let me go ahead and put it in our window here. Whoa. I'll make it as big as possible. Don't worry. Got it.
All right.
Well,
perfect.
Okay, so let's play this a couple times. And there he goes. Yeah. And of course, I'm getting a phone call right now again. Dang it. Telemarketer. Go to hell, telemarketer. Damn. That's twice they called me.
So have you watched the video yet?
Do what now?
Have you seen this already?
Oh, I have not. Is it going to the loop?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're like on the 8th time watching it.
Oh, that's no problem. I'll tell you what.
Look! I'm gonna look out! It's gonna get you! Ah!
So the giant hand represents the coronavirus, right?
Yeah, it's the media trying to scare you.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and stop that right now.
All right, yeah, because I was getting kind of weirded out, man. I was about to have to, call somebody, have them come over and sit with me for a little while.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let me stop it. Remove it from screen.
Can you imagine like calling somebody, hey, could you come over? I'm kind of freaked out about this coronavirus thing. Can you come over? Oh, heck no, I ain't coming over there. You're supposed to self-quarantine, buddy.
Right. And I tell you, that seems to be becoming kind of an issue with the public. There are people getting cabin fever and stir crazy. They're ready to bust out, man. There's some places on total lockdown, like New York and Los Angeles.
You just gave me a funny idea for a epic rap battle of history.
New York versus Los Angeles?
No. Cabin fever versus stir crazy.
Oh, yeah. That would be a good one, yeah.
All right, I digress.
Hey, people clicked on this thumbnail knowing what the thumbnail was before they came in. I'm just saying. If people were offended by the picture, they shouldn't have came in.
Oh yeah, that's true. Either that or they just couldn't wait. They saw something offensive and they couldn't wait to click on it and share their offensive and comment how offended they are.
Sure, I'm sure of it. Yeah. But let me go
that really, honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious here, but It really does seem like people, like when I'm out and about today, have kind of went back to that flip mode of being out for themselves again. And I'm like, where is all this like aggression coming from? And I was thinking to myself, when people are online, they just have this. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting that video ready. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, when people are online, they're doing their internet trolling or whatever, and they have no fear. They're big tough guy in the comment section.
Yeah.
I think that kind of energy is carrying over into real life energy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I've seen some examples of that, some prime examples of that on YouTube.
Yeah. And it really is a shame. But yeah, go ahead and use your clip ready.
Yeah, I need to set this up real quick. I believe this is Tucker Carlson talking about he says that extortion from China is the real threat. Now, keep in mind the political views of everyone else does not necessarily reflect that of the Hebrew channel.
All right. Well, let's see it.
Well, let's hear it. You mean?
All right. Yeah. Hear it. See it.
Yeah.
Let's experience it.
Should I put it in really fast speed or slow speed?
I say either you want to. I would recommend you put it at 1.25 and maybe pause it every so often.
All right.
Just trying to help you cover your butt.
Here we go.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. There comes a time in every presidential administration when the people in charge realize they're not really in control. Unforeseen events arise. In an instant, every assumption about the future changes. Heads of state die, wars erupt, natural disasters descend, epidemics rage. None of it was in anybody's plan. There's something about human nature that prevents us from preparing for this, for abrupt and radical change. We pretend the unexpected will never happen. But there's something in nature itself that reminds us it inevitably will. It's always a terrifying realization. The rise of the Chinese coronavirus is that kind of moment. The virus is quickly becoming a global pandemic. Ultimately, it could kill millions. At the very least, it will reorder the global economy and change our politics. Could the disease help determine how...
That seems like so much faster than 1.25. That seems like 2.0 or something.
Yeah, that's not 1.5.
No, 1.25.
Oh, 1.25. I had a 1.5. Okay.
Well, Yeah.
Let me replay that. Okay, can I? Yeah, let me replay that 1.25. Yeah, okay. Because I don't think anybody truly understand what he was saying there.
I totally understood everything that he said. What is wrong with you? Don't you understand when people talk like that?
Right. Oh, hey, by the way, Eddie Von King, the real one, is here right now.
Okay, good to know.
So here we go. I don't know why we only have 4 watchers, though. That's weird. Anyway, here we go.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. There comes a time in every presidential administration when the people in charge realize they're not really in control. Unforeseen events arise. In an instant, every assumption about the future changes. Heads of state die, wars erupt, natural disasters descend, epidemics rage. None of it was in anybody's plan. There's something about human nature that prevents us from preparing for this, for abrupt and radical change. We pretend the unexpected will never happen, but there's something in nature itself that reminds us it inevitably will. It's always a terrifying realization. The rise of the Chinese coronavirus is that kind of moment. The virus is quickly becoming a global pandemic. Ultimately, it could kill millions. At the very least, it will reorder the global economy and change our politics. Could the disease help determine the outcome of our next presidential election 8 months from now? Of course it could. In fact, it will. Our leaders can't stop that. Like all matters of life and death, it is beyond human power to affect. But they can respond to the threat in a way that makes this country stronger, not weaker. How can they do that? Here's how. The first step is to take the virus seriously and to convince the public that you are. In 1918, Woodrow Wilson's White House downplayed the Spanish influenza and refused to take obvious precautions to slow its spread. Wilson had a pointless war in progress in Europe to fight. His generals couldn't be distracted from that goal. So the government continued to ship men to overcrowded army camps across the country and to pack them on ships to France. The virus spread exponentially. In the end, about 53,000 American soldiers were killed in combat in that war. At least 675,000 Americans died of the flu. Could Wilson have prevented that?
There's a good example right there. I just wanted to pause it for a second so we could talk about it. You can unmute now.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, that is a good example of if there really is an epidemic and you ignore it, how bad it can really get. So I understand that it's a good point for why initially, if it's something you've never seen before, it's good practice to take precautions, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I was precautioning also that, as we have seen, history can and often does repeat itself also.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Armor knows. Armor told Eddie. Eddie was wondering if that was Anderson Cooper. I could see how he would think that.
Yeah, he did sound a little Anderson Cooper-esque. Sped up.
Yeah, when he sped up. Yeah, let me go ahead and play some more of this. I got to take a. Well, I'll be right back.
Okay, go see your man about a horse.
Right, I need to play this though. I'll go ahead and play the rest of it. The heck with it.
All right.
Well, not entirely, but by early and decisive action, could have improved America's odds. So what does effective action look like now? Well, we ought to be screening people when they get off the planes from infected countries. That's not complicated, it's obvious. But at the same time, it is hardly a solution. We should be honest about how much we can do to keep the Chinese coronavirus from coming here. 100 years ago, the Spanish flu killed a significant percentage of the population in remote Aleutian Islands, and that was before air travel. Today, the entire world is connected by hourly international flights. Global pandemics are inevitable. There's too much movement to keep viruses isolated. We should acknowledge that. Yes, we can do our best to keep foreign diseases out of this country, but we ought to spend most of our time trying to figure out how to protect Americans once the diseases get here. There's still a lot we don't know about the Chinese coronavirus, but 2 things do seem clear. It is highly communicable, and the elderly and people with pre-existing respiratory disease face the greatest threat from it. That means for most Americans, the biggest risks will come not from the virus itself, but from its ancillary effects. People will panic, travel will be disrupted, markets will tumble, and, most critically, hospitals will be overwhelmed. We're about to learn the limits of our healthcare system. Conditions will be tough for the many thousands of Americans looking for beds to recover from the flu. In Seattle, they already are. But things will be even worse for anyone suffering from, say, pancreatitis or a burst appendix, not to mention countless other health emergencies. People like this may not get care at all. Our system won't be able to accommodate them. There are many implications of this, and some of them are political.
I just wanted to pause that for a second to talk about, I've thought about this. It's like, when one of us, like if I get a major cut, not a little cut, like, just spit on it and put a Band-Aid on it. Rather than, someone slices their finger off kind of cut. It's not like now before you could just rush to the hospital and get it taken care of. A lot of bada bing, bada boom, you're done and out. But now we can't even, like, if my appendix burst, I'm screwed. I can't go to the hospital.
Well, you might not get seen right away, which and the appendix is a time sensitive scenario.
Yeah.
And not just that, but they're talking about any type of procedure that's not medically necessary, right now to postpone it or put it off. I mean, they've even went so far as to tell the abortion, like the Planned Parenthood, not to do abortions if they're not, if the mom's life is not at risk if she doesn't have it, basically.
Right. And like Eddie just said, chainsaw and the leg cut. Yeah, that kind of cut.
Yeah, and then also they're even telling dental practices to not do dental procedures that aren't absolutely necessary. I mean,
right. That's another thing. What if you have an abscess or a bursted tooth or something, or busted tooth? I mean, not bursted, busted tooth, and your mouth could literally kill you.
Well, yeah, I mean, people will definitely be affected by this. I mean, there will be people who have to live with ailments longer, who will be pushing, could be pushed to a limit beyond what they would normally have to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is affecting everybody. And I agree with them 100% that it's going to be the effects of the fear and the panic that we need to be more concerned about right now than it's the actual virus itself that's going. Right now, I am not as worried about catching a virus as I am worried about finding some groceries.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly my point too. And well, anyway, let's listen to some more of Mr. Good Old Tucker Carlson here. I can't talk. I just can't do it.
All right.
For example, is this really the time to invite the rest of the world to join Medicare for all? Probably not. That idea was always stupid. No, it's clearly dangerous. On a practical level, saving American medicine from collapse must be our leaders' top priority right now. We need to expand emergency hospital bed capacity. We need to make certain we have enough life-saving drugs and medical equipment, the basics. Unfortunately, that's not as simple as it sounds or as it should be. While the rest of us are arguing about sexism and transgendered bathrooms, China took control of our healthcare system. China dominates the world market in pharmaceutical ingredients, compounds used in virtually every essential medicine for high blood pressure, for cancer, for Alzheimer's disease, and many more come from China. So do key components in vital medical technology, CT scanners, X-ray machines, ultrasounds. As of tonight, more than 95% of all the antibiotics in America are manufactured in communist China. 95%. Our chief global rival has a total monopoly on the most important medicine in the world. That should worry you more than anything the candidates are currently talking about. Imagine watching one of your children die from an infected cut. China has the power to make that happen. The Chinese government is acutely aware of this power. Last year, a prominent Chinese economist suggested cutting off the supply of antibiotics to the United States as leverage in the trade war. That should have been the biggest story in America. The news media all but ignored it. Why? Because it implicated them and their political party in one of the greatest crimes of our time. 9 years ago, famously brilliant former President Barack Obama did predict a connection between China and the next global pandemic. Unfortunately, Obama got it backward. He claimed China would help us.
I absolutely believe that China's peaceful rise is good for the world, and it's good for America. To the extent that we have a partner in addressing issues like climate change or pandemic.
Our foremost genius. The people in charge have no idea what they're doing, and to the extent they do, they're selling us out on purpose. We should have seen this coming. In recent weeks, you've heard a lot about disruption to our so-called supply chains. Think about what that means. It means that thanks to economic changes that made a small group of business moguls incredibly rich, we no longer make the things we need to survive and prosper as a nation. People who hate us and who seek to displace us make those things. And it's not just medicines and X-ray machines. It's computers and phones and robotics and automotive components and machine tools and essential parts for aircraft engines, etc. In fact, apart from fossil fuels, it's almost everything. And now you may have noticed many of our leaders are talking about shutting down our domestic energy sector, the last independent part of the American economy. This is sabotage, and we're about to learn how undermined we've been. At some point,
there you go. Well, I want to talk about that for a minute too. Is that he's making a good point, saying that, and I think you and I talked about this some weeks ago about how China Everything's made in China. All of our medical supplies, all of our everything, the antibiotics, the vaccines, the this and that and the other, it's all made in China. Nothing that you see today, really, including toilet paper, yes, toilet paper included, is all made in China.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. I mean, if it's really that extreme, which it apparently is, I mean, we're at the mercy of China right this moment, and we have no choice but to basically wait and see. That's all we really can. It's going to be up to China in the short interim until we can gradually start, you know, making these products, these medicines, and all these things ourselves, and become the transition of us becoming less dependent is going to have to be done gradually, because you can't do that overnight. And we still have to keep in good form with China, because we're at their mercy at this exact moment. We have no way of producing these things for ourselves. And it's a shame that we have allowed it to come to this. And it took something as simple, something as silly as a whole bunch of people running out and buying a whole bunch of everything real fast to exploit it. You know, sure, they're probably not putting out as much as they normally would, and then you compound that with everybody going out and buying more than they normally would. You're going to see that reality rear its ugly head, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's like, it's just like that conversation we had weeks ago. We're talking about, when was the last time you seen anything made in America? When just a few years ago, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, you saw Walmart. Walmart's main slogan was everything they had in the store was made in America.
Oh yeah, back when Sam Walton was still alive, that's how he built that company. And at the time, we were still creating a lot of stuff here. We actually still had a brand of television that was made in America. It was called Zenith. I know I used to have a Zenith TV. Did you ever have one?
Oh yeah, I had a Zenith. And I'll tell you, another thing is all of our car parts and stuff like that. It's
I mean,
like,
I know it's kind of like common knowledge as to why this happened. I mean, there you can basically, you have a cheaper labor force. You have no EPA, no restrictions on your, on your on how you like standards of waste, and and the way you can just release stuff into the atmosphere. The smog in China is ridiculously bad, and you have and companies get tax breaks from being in China, and like basically you take an American company, you set up a manufacturing facility in China, and you hire a bunch of Chinese workers to do it for half the price, and you don't have to pay the only in the way the trade setup was set up was the tariffs worked out, so it was cheaper to produce everything there. And if you're a ABC widget maker and you can make it for half the cost in China, then you can here. That's going to be that much more profit for your for your CEO and your and for you to show the board, and your stocks are going to keep going up, and you're going to keep yielding more dividends. I mean, that makes a lot more sense, right? But no, not when all of a sudden, the political landscape changes, and now, we're in this situation. Now all of a sudden, it don't make any sense at all. So I think there will be a big change going forward, and it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out.
Well, just like somebody said, I don't know if it was you or someone else said, it's all going to be almost like what we saw during 9/11. When we saw everyone, that changed America. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It changed the way we do things. It changed the way we travel. It changed the way we greet each other. It changed a lot of things. And this is even bigger than that. It's a
Well,
world.
what's even bigger than that is the way that they're using it to manipulate our freedoms. They're going to
Yeah.
use this as this whole social distancing thing. It seems like they're already coming up with ways to use this to create new ways to restrict us. You know, how is travel going forward going to be affected? What are you going to be required to get this vaccine, so-called vaccine, once it becomes available before you're allowed to travel out of your area, to get on a major highway even. You got to show a card or have a chip in you that shows that you have permission to access this area. I mean, are you going to be allowed in a stadium, or a large venue if you can't show that you've had this vaccination so that you're not a risk to the general public? I mean, it's hard to say exactly how extreme it's going to be and how much things are going to change going forward. But if you want to use 9/11 as an example of how much things change, post 9/11, yeah, there's going to be significant changes post coronavirus. You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
Oh yeah, man. I'll tell you what. Let me play just a little bit more of this Tucker Carlson thing, and then we'll move on. We'll switch gears here in a little bit. In fact, I might very well have the phone lines open tonight. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, actually, I thought that would be a great idea. Hopefully, we can get some people to call in, tell us what's going on with them and their personal stories, or maybe what things are like in their neck of the woods and how they may have been affected. Are they able to get groceries? Are they able to get out and about? How many cases do they have near them? I would love to have people call in and share their story.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And by the way, Eddie Von Keen says, what did he say? Oh, he said, by the way, if the room count gets up to 25, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, look at how are they going to, like we said, look at the theater, like your movie theater. Are they going to have to change the seatings now, where there's only instead of 150 seats, there'll only be like 75 because they have to space the seating out, where everybody's 6 feet away from each other.
Right. And that's another thing I was thinking while I was sitting on the toilet is, they should release some movies. They should go ahead, release some movies now so that the people who are having to stay at home and not do anything, they can set up a streaming service for them, a special streaming service where you have to buy a ticket, or not a ticket, but you know what I'm talking about. Like you have to pay for it to watch it. You know what I mean? Much like they did. What was that one movie with that fat dude that owned Korea? What was the name?
I know the movie you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of it.
They shut down that movie because that little dude made a few threats.
Right. I know this is kind of like not exactly 100% related, but in Germany, Pornhub announced today they're giving people in Germany premium membership for free so that they can watch premium porn on Pornhub.
I'm not going to ask quite how you know that, but
I heard it on the radio.
You heard it? Okay, on the radio. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't really want to know what you do with your free time there, Saji. Just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying, what a public service announcement,
Yeah, that's true, man. And I'm just messing with you, by the way. But
I know.
But no, man. Yeah, that's something. I'll tell you. That's
it's a tidbit of knowledge. I'm sure. I'm not sure how much the people of Germany are appreciative of that, but I have to imagine there's probably somebody out there who's thankful for it.
If they're in isolation, they might be very appreciative. That I assume. Just saying.
Right.
Eddie Von Keen says the name of that movie was called The Interview.
Oh yeah, it was. And you know what? I actually liked that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny.
It was, and at the time it was unprecedented. It was unheard of that another country can come over here. Well, not come over here, but can threaten us from that far distance away. That they threatened that they're gonna bomb the theaters if people went and watched it, all because little Honey Boo Boo there didn't like the way he was being presented. Well, big effing whoop. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, if you can't laugh at yourself, then there's something wrong with you. It's like how in the world does a president of the United States of America allow a freedom of expression like this to go unchecked? I just don't get it. I understand he doesn't want people coming over and bombing our movie theaters, but really, are they really gonna come over and bomb our movie theaters? I mean, to me, that just seemed like a bit much,
Right. Oh well, last year about this time that we had that shooting that took place in New Zealand or something. You remember the one I'm talking about, where the guy went into the church and he shot everybody up?
Oh, I think maybe I know what you're talking about.
Well, anyway, make a long story short, there was a movie that was supposed to come out and be released in the theaters, and it was called Hunter, and it was basically about it was basically it portrayed some type of like some supposedly political liberalites capturing with not so many words the opposite, I guess you would say, Republican conservatives, and then releasing them in a forest or jungle environment and then hunting them down as if they were live game. Okay, that's what the premise of the movie is, and it was considered such a political hotspot at the time because we were having all these problems with shootings and I think the Las Vegas thing, that New Zealand thing, and we had that guy that was sending letters in the mail, and they ended up catching him in Florida. You know who I'm talking about? Anyway, we had all that going on, so the political environment was not ready. Basically, they were able. The political environment, the I don't know there's a word for it, and I can't think of it. But basically, the movie got shut down. They didn't, and after the trailers aired and everything, so they're finally releasing it this year. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just came out in theaters because the climate has changed, and the movie is out in theaters now. But you know what's getting pushed back now? There's a movie called I can't think of the name of it, but it's about people who have to. There's some type of virus that causes people to not be. It's something that comes after you if you make noise. You have to remain silent or whatever. Well, the sequel to the movie has just now came out. I really feel bad that I don't even know the name of the movie. But anyway, make a long story short, the political climate with this whole COVID thing is they're saying that's too sensitive to release right now. People don't want to, see something like that right now while they're dealing. So they shut down the release of this movie indefinitely. So it'll probably come out in 8 to 10 months from now or next year or something like that. But it's just so weird how movie that is pure fiction, if it relates to some type of real live crisis that's currently happening, the people can't watch that right now. The government has to censor it. Or it just seems so. I can't even believe that we've come to that where this is becoming a regular thing that happens on a regular basis, where you can't even put out a movie if it's not quote unquote politically correct to release right now.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on right now, and just the movie industry in general. And I think Eddie Von King mentioned James Bond. Is, how I remember it. I was going to say this while you were talking, but you know, um, they pushed back the James Bond movie not because of anything political or any crap like that, but they pushed it back till November. So it was supposed to come out like next month, but now they pushed it all the way back to November. Is this how long these people think the virus is going to continue? Oh,
Yeah, they're saying it could be up to 18 months now. And now they're also saying that
not James Bond movie, the movie you're talking about.
and they're also saying that it's here, it's probably here to stay. Like the next flu season is going to come back
Right.
mutated. And they're saying that it could actually be 10 to 18 months before we have a vaccine. So not only are we, it's not going to just magically disappear. They're saying they don't see that in our future. They see it as something we're going to be dealing with long term. So it ought to be interesting to see how long they can overhype it, how long they can take away freedoms from, how many freedoms they're going to be able to take away in the name of protecting us from this so-called virus.
Yeah, that's another thing is a lot of people I see a lot of comments on Facebook of people saying this is a test to see how much are we willing to give up? How much further are we willing to let this thing go before just all chaos breaks out? And then Michael, oh, I can't think of his name, but he said that he was talking about he had warned everybody back about 2, maybe 3 years ago about martial law. And now it looks like the very martial law that he had warned us all about is actually starting to take place. It's already taken place in some cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York, and even I think martial law is taking place in Chicago as well.
Well, yeah, I mean they are establishing the National Guard there, but the actual martial law hasn't actually started occurring yet. But they are basically using this as a way to kind of infringe on constitutional rights. They're talking about being able to indefinitely detain people. I mean, that's like the Second Amendment there, where you get guaranteed a lawyer and a speedy trial and all that kind of stuff, where they're only allowed to detain you for a certain amount of time and or charge you with something. I mean, there's a lot of whispers of a lot of freedoms that are going up for grabs, and people are certain and they're reaching. This whole social distancing thing. We always have the right to assemble. Assemble peacefully or whatever. But now you can't even be in a larger than a group of 10. I mean, how can you ever have a protest or a march against something if only 9 people are allowed to march down the street?
Right? Like the one guy, that would be like if you had a Frankenstein movie, one guy with a torch.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Every 20 feet, there's one person walking down the road to show protest for this new thing they're trying to do. Yeah, it just isn't going to make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, listen, I've got just a little bit more of this thing I want to play. And while I'm playing this, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my drink. You can do the same thing if you want. And then I'll come back in here and shut it off. And then after I play that part of it, what do you say we try to open up the phone lines?
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, well, here it goes. Here's Tucker Carlson again with extortion for China is the real threat. So here we go.
All right.
Our leaders should be held to account for this. For now, we need to work as if our lives depended on it to fix this problem. Global warming isn't the existential threat we face. Extortion from China is. In very real ways, the Chinese government controls us. There is no greater national security danger than the one they pose. To respond, we need a modern Marshall Plan, one designed to rebuild essential American manufacturing. We should start tomorrow, with medicine and technology to fight the coronavirus, and then with antibiotics. Some will oppose the idea because it poses a threat to arrangements they currently benefit from. But a majority of Americans will welcome it gladly, even in the Congress. Manufacturing lifts every congressional district. It shouldn't be hard to win bipartisan support. No doubt the sages on television will denounce any acknowledgement of China's threat as racism or intolerance. Joe Biden's already done that. Ignore them. The Chinese coronavirus really is Chinese. It arose in that country for the same reason American businesses have sent so many of our jobs there. Lax health and safety standards and endemic corruption. China did this to the world, and we should not pretend otherwise. That's not xenophobia, it's true. The most bitter irony of all of that is that a few years from now, when every last victim of this virus has recovered or been buried, the Chinese government could easily grow stronger because of this disaster and America weaker. China unleashes a pandemic and then overtakes the US as a result? That's too horrible an outcome to contemplate and too dangerous for us. We ought to do everything we can to make certain it does not happen. Let's start by accurately describing what is happening. The Chinese coronavirus isn't some fluke of globalization. It is the inevitable byproduct of it. Exotic diseases and the mass disruption they cause are the built-in cost of connectedness, and they always will be. The people who told us there was no downside to living in a borderless world were lying. Make them eat their words. Strip them of their power. Never listen to them again. In fact, and this is still the hardest thing for official Washington to accept, this pandemic vindicates Donald Trump's entire political thesis. On the big things, Trump was right. Trade, immigration, manufacturing, globalization. These are the issues our ruling class assiduously ignores and has ignored for decades in favor of silly, calculated distractions like gender warfare and race politics, things that divide us. Trump, by contrast, ran on the issues that mattered, and he won precisely because the public was tired of being lied to, and he should remember that. The White House reaction to coronavirus so far has been uneven and limp, but it doesn't need to be. The blueprint for an effective response, a response that not only protects this country, but improves it, is right there in the president's 2016 acceptance speech at the Republican convention in Cleveland. Americanism, not globalism, will be the credo, he said. We're going to start building and making things again. All we need to do is start believing in ourselves and our country again. It is time to show the world that America is back, bigger and better and stronger than ever before. There it is. That's the governing agenda in the age of the Chinese coronavirus. Abandon globalism, rebuild the country, make the things we need. A strong America is an independent America. There's no other way.
All right, well, there you go. So, Saji, what did you think of all that? And before you answer, I can't stress this point enough. Not the Fox News organization, nor does Tucker Carlson reflect the views of the Hebrew channel. It's just something that I thought was interesting that he had said about Trump. And you know how President Trump getting all the hate, from calling this thing the Chinese virus, when in fact that's what it is, the Chinese virus. That's where it originated from. I mean, I personally,
it's definitely an interesting point of view. It's really going to be, like I said, it's going to be up to time will tell. If China really does want to wreak havoc on us, this is their opportunity to do so. They don't actually have to send men over here with guns. All they have to do is withdraw shipping containers. Don't send us the medicine we need. Don't send us the supplies we need. If they choose not to, I really don't know. I mean, how we can respond. I mean, short of possibly, some type of military altercation. I mean, we going to show up over there with guns and force them to send it to us? I have no idea. But I do know that it's going to be, politics is coming into play more so right now than it has ever been before. And there's probably a whole lot going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. But hopefully everything is going to work itself out. I mean, I know really the only thing we have control over right now is our own actions, our ability to keep applying the discernment on the information as it gets presented to us, and be there for people that really need help right now. Look out for your elderly friends and your elderly relatives, and make sure that they have what they need as much as you possibly can, and pray to the Father that that this is going to have a positive outcome.
Absolutely, man. And that's what I've been doing for days on end, man, just constantly praying. And, hopefully the Father's going to squash this thing like an Italian man, like an Italian giant man who's 7'5" and weighs 600 pounds squashes a grape,
Okay, yeah, I heard of that guy.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Listen, no, we're gonna get the phone lines open here,
All
and
right.
like you said, I would love to see what people their own experiences are, how they're doing. If anyone around them has coronavirus, if they know of anyone that has coronavirus, if themselves might have the coronavirus, we don't know.
All right. Yeah, or just how are people acting in their neighborhood? Are they able to go out and buy groceries? I mean, are they under a lockdown? I mean, a lot of these states are doing things differently. Some people are able to. Some stores are even letting you go in there and having more than 10 people in the store at a time. Things of that nature.
Yeah, and the other thing is, there are some stores who are letting elderly people's go in early. They're letting them go in before everyone else, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and people who have
Underlying
weakened immune systems are
right.
supposed to be included in that too.
Mhm.
So, it makes me wonder. I mean, why would the elderly want to come shopping the same time with people with weakened immune systems?
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying. Sometimes it really doesn't seem like they totally think this stuff through.
Yeah, you're right, man. That does. Yeah. Well, hey, listen. Let's see if that's number up there. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm about to find out.
All right.
Let's see here. 720-835-5632. Nope, that's not it. Oh, here it is. I'm here. There we go.
You might want to
Oh,
like start labeling them, like call one this number.
right.
Just a suggestion.
I understand completely. Yeah, I really should do that. And help if I actually opened the phone lines at this time so people who want to call in and share their experiences, just like we mentioned, can call in and do so. HD call, yeah, HD call. And what the hell? There we go. It's ringing.
This free conference call is provided by Uber Conference. You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
That sounds like it was skipping on through a few things, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I never set one up myself.
Oh yeah, you should get it, man, and then you could take calls.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know if you could do it very well on your phone though.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure. I hope that this is going to be loud enough. I know the other night when we had Michael Fontaine calling in, we had some trouble,
At first, but it worked itself out.
Oh yeah, it sure did, man. But yeah, I know he's in there somewhere. It's such a damn shame we only have 7 people watching, though, man. It seems like, on the usual Tuesday night, we have up to 15 or 20 people watching. Is there any other live streams going on right now you're aware of?
I honestly didn't go look.
Oh, okay. But I don't know. Maybe because
I mean, a lot of people might just be lurking. We might have a couple lurkers too,
Oh, you never know. We do usually start a little bit later too.
Yeah, we're slightly ahead of schedule, but not only like about 20 minutes.
Man, that tea tastes good. One thing I did learn from watching this doctor, which I do suggest that people go check him out. I wish I had the link here, but I don't. There's a doctor that makes videos. Hey, I think I'm echoing on your end, dude.
You probably could play that clip from that doctor I shared in Shifty Sunday the other day. That was a really good informative piece there. I would strongly recommend it. I don't know if you're able to go into Shifty Sunday and find it. You want me to look at it too so I can help you?
Well,
Armor typed the word interesting underneath it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, we could definitely play that one if it's not copyrighted material.
I don't believe it is. It's just a doctor doing his from Germany. I mean, it's not like he's a corporation.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that one, but how can you?
And it's subtitled because he's speaking in German.
That's what I was having problems with when I was watching it earlier. The subtitleizations were going by a little bit too fast for me, but of course.
Well, you can slow it down to 0.175 or something.
Oops, wrong one. That was the video.
You don't have to play the audio if you don't want to, because we just have to be able to read it. It's totally up to you.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. We don't have to hear what some dude is saying in German.
I don't know. We might have people watching from Germany, I guess. Possible.
Oh, yeah, that is possible. I keep forgetting this is the World Wide Web.
Are you tired of the media spinning the truth and pushing false narratives? Well, take a look at this. Over the last 3.
Okay, there we go.
Meanwhile, China's legal troubles.
Oh, wait, that's not German.
Question that we've been.
That's something that I sent you.
That's not it, I don't think.
This is the one about people suing China. Hold on. That's another thing I think we should talk about just really quick about the lawsuits that's going on in China. Are people suing China?
Well, yeah, apparently from that video you shared, it looks like some local law firms have decided to put together a class action lawsuit and actually sue China for mishandling the virus when it originally erupted, and they're basically calling them at fault and trying to create like $1 trillion class action lawsuit. It ought to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I think stuff like that is unprecedented as far as the legal history is concerned. It'll definitely be it could go either way. I can't imagine if they win and China actually paying up, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I got some bad news here. I'm not seeing what you sent.
All right, here we go. And here, and see if I can find it.
All right. Cool. Hey, while you're doing that, I just want to let everybody know we're probably going to be doing some off-labeled live streams. In fact, I might do a live stream later on tonight with somebody else. Saj, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome.
All right, we'll see. Let me look this up real quick. I'm going to just go to my history and see if I can find it in there.
All right, cool.
I have to go back about 3 days here, so bear with me.
Absolutely, man. While you're doing that, though, I just want to mention to everyone who might be watching at this point in time, the phone lines are open, and I haven't gotten anything yet, so that's an update for you. But I will address the public real quick. When you make your phone calls, please do keep in mind that my phone call times are limited. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe sometime next week I need to look up a different Uber conference, a one that's actually free with unlimited calls. So, but for now they are limited. So do be careful If you do get cut off in the middle of the conversation, you can always call back in, and I'll restart the conference. I just want to let everybody know that real quick. Oh boy, this would be the part where Saji says, "Talk amongst yourselves." Can everybody hear me all right? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 4, 5, 6. All right. I can go ahead and read what Michael Fontaine has said here. He says, Hebrew from Eternia. And whoa, it jumped up. Hold on. We had another case up the street from us, a new one just yesterday, about a mile from where I live, and Harvey Weinstein has it. Yeah, I heard about Harvey Weinstein. That's kind of interesting, sort of, I won't say that you sow what you reap, or you reap what you sow, or whatever, but sometimes you do. I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, that's probably not a good thing to say, but hey, given what he did and what he's going through, then you reap what you sow, I guess. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm sorry to hear that you had somebody down the street from you that has it, man. I really am. We'll pray for them. So, all right. Let's get Sagittarically Speaking back in the room. And Saggy, what do you got for us?
Well, it was like I had to scroll up like one video from, but I had to leave to go into Hangouts. It wouldn't let me. But I took the link, I copied it into Taco Tuesday.
All right, cool. Man, see what's going on? See, huh? Yeah, I'm getting the good old scratch of throat. You know what I have, Saggy? I don't have the coronavirus. You know what I have?
You have the Kung Flu?
Well, that's a good one. That's I heard that on Facebook. That's a really good one. No, I have the Marlboro virus.
Oh, the Marlboro CO. You have the Marlboro COV, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But the only cure for that is to keep smoking.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think it's better for you if you up your smoking game to maybe 2 packs a day,
Either that or just rip off the filters.
Oh, yeah, that helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to speed it up, man.
Yeah, those filters are just, they're bad for you.
Yeah, it's the filters that are bad for you.
Yeah, it is. The tobacco, it's all natural. Those filters were made in a factory.
Well, probably a Chinese factory at that. Just saying.
Yeah, probably.
Wait, that's a fake laugh. Sorry about that. I don't know why I just did that. But anyway, you say it's in our Taco Tuesday?
Yep.
Huh. All right, let me check it out. I don't think I received a notification yet, but let me go ahead and get in there. Sometimes my computer switches me out to different accounts. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I had to clear my throat, man.
Yeah, we'll play this unless someone calls in, and if you get a phone call, pause it and we'll take the call.
Oh, well, absolutely, man. But you know what? I think they know that by now. I would hope. I would just on hope that they would know that. Anyway, let me go ahead and share my screen here. I'll get the old screen share 1, 2 bounceroo. And
you might want to slow it down a tad bit if you want to be able to have the captions not go by so fast.
Oh, I don't care.
All right.
As long as our public audience is aware of it.
And you might want to remove the banner so people can see them.
Oh, is the banner constructed?
Or move it? Can you reposition it?
Well, no, you can't do that. Let's see here. I'll just remove it off of there completely.
All right.
People know what the number is by now.
Yeah, you better write it down.
Oh yeah, because when I put it back up there, now you should be able to see it. All right, let's get to it.
But you got to change the shape on your screen. You can't see the. There you go.
Well, I know that, man. See, I'm
Okay.
on it. I'm on it.
All right.
All right, here we go.
It's just so weird without hearing it. So you're gonna have to turn the audio on.
I know it's like, what's going on there? Do you want me to do like a rough translation of what he's saying? Just try to speak some German. I'm just.
Yeah, that's whatever works for you, my friend.
I'm kidding. Let me unmute it.
Beobachtet, wie viele Menschen werden können. Wir haben jedes Jahr überall in der Welt haben wir immer neue Viren, weil die Viren sich verändern müssen. Wenn dieselben Viren nochmal kämen, dann würde sie unser Immunsystem erkennen und wir könnten uns nicht krank machen. Das heißt, die Viren könnten sich nicht vermehren und die wollen sich ja vermehren. Deshalb müssen sie ein bisschen ändern. Deshalb haben wir also jedes Jahr.
You got it sped up.
No.
Und da gibt es etwa 100 verschiedene.
I think it's still playing fast from the last video.
Hold on, let me.
Und wir haben uns bisher kaum drum
what did I do?
Oder diese Erkältungskrankheit oder was wie man es nennen will,
Hold on.
verursachen. Aber es hat
It's normal.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Now I gotta go back.
Tests, die es gab.
I don't know where I was.
Right about there. It looks good.
He needs one of those sign language people, except no, not saying like a voice dub.
Yeah.
Ein bisschen ändern. Deshalb haben wir also jedes Jahr neue Varianten dieser Viren. Und da gibt es etwa 100 verschiedene Virustypen und die verändern sich dauernd. Das ist so gesehen. Und wir haben uns bisher kaum darum gekümmert, welche Viren nun diese Grippe oder diese Erkältungskrankheit oder wie man das nennen will, verursachen. Aber es hat Untersuchungen gegeben, sehr schöne Untersuchungen über mehrere Jahre in Glasgow. Da hat man mal versucht, mit den Tests, die es gab, das heißt, man hat nicht alle 100 untersucht, sondern man hat nur die untersucht, für die es Tests gab. Und da hat man ein ganzes 10 verschiedene oder 8 verschiedene Viren dann beobachtet. Und da waren immer Coronaviren dabei. Das hier sind jetzt die Zahlen aus Glasgow. Da hat man von 2005 bis 2013 hat man geguckt, welche Erreger kommen davor bei akuten Atemwegserkrankungen. Und da sieht man diese bunten Säulen, das sind jeweils die Erreger. Und das Grüne, im grünen Bereich dort, sind immer die Coronaviren dabei gewesen. In jedem Jahr. Und die haben immer so einen Prozentsatz von 7 bis 15%, 5 bis 8%, so schwankt das. Das ist also normal, dass da immer ein großer Anteil auch Coronaviren dabei sind. Was jetzt passiert ist in China, in Wuhan, das größte Sicherheitslabor in ganz China. Das heißt, da gibt es sehr viele Spezialisten.
Sergi, you okay over there?
Yeah, you hear me breathe?
Yeah, I'm hearing you doing all kinds of things.
All right, I'll mute up.
All right.
Und die haben da offenbar, da gibt es ja auch, das sind 11 Millionen Einwohner, große Stadt, große Krankenhäuser, große Intensivabteilungen. Das sind immer Leute, die beatmet werden, immer Leute, die Lungenentzündung haben, Hunderte wahrscheinlich. Und die haben bei ein wenigen Patienten, das waren unter 50 Patienten, die haben diese Viren untersucht und haben dann im Labor nachgeguckt, wie ist die RNA und haben eine neue Sorte gefunden. Ihnen ist das aufgefallen. Und wenn ein Virologe sowas findet, dann tut er das in eine große Datenbank. Und diese Datenbank, die ist dann zugänglich, auch in Berlin zum Beispiel. Die können wir überall dann, die können die Wissenschaftler sich angucken. Und dann hat man hier in Berlin nachgeguckt, hat verglichen und hat dann versucht, dort einen Test zu entwickeln, um diese speziellen, angeblich neuen Viren dort, diese neue Variante dann damit messen zu können. Und da gibt es ein Protokoll, das hat Herr Drosten eingereicht bei der WHO. Und dieser Test ist dann sehr schnell zugelassen worden. Normalerweise ist ein Test ein Medizinprodukt und muss validiert werden. Das heißt, er muss sehr genau kontrolliert werden. Was sagt dieser Test eigentlich? Was misst er eigentlich? Und dieses ist ein Inhouse-Test, der dort in der Charité entwickelt wurde. Aber weil es kein
almost understood
gab
him.
und die große Panik entstand, hat man gesagt, gut, dann benutzen wir den überall. Und dann hat er trotzdem den zur Verfügung gestellt. Und der Virologe kann natürlich nicht sagen, ist das Ding nur gefährlich oder nicht. Der kann nur sagen, der ist anders, der ist so, da haben wir einen Test, da haben wir keinen. Der sagt, ist das was Gefährliches? Herr Drosten, ist das was Gefährliches? Woran will er das erkennen? Das kann er nur erkennen an weiteren epidemiologischen Daten. Das heißt, wenn man beobachtet, wie krank sind die Leute, wie schnell werden sie wieder gesund, sterben mehr als früher. Das heißt, hier ist es ganz wichtig, um das zu beurteilen, dass man die Daten aus den Vorjahren heranzieht, dass man vergleicht, dass man die Mortalitätsdaten sich anguckt. Wie viele Leute sind an Viruserkrankung gestorben? Jetzt, wenn ich nachgucken will, wenn ich einen bestimmten Erreger suche, wenn ich also zum Beispiel nach Coronaviren suche, dann kann ich untersuchen in der Gesamtbevölkerung. Und da werde ich wahrscheinlich so um die 10% in der Grippewelle werden so jetzt im Moment gerade etwa 8 bis 10% der Bevölkerung. Da wird irgendein Virus zu finden sein, da wird irgendwas sein, was sie gerade so ein bisschen krank oder ein bisschen mehr krank macht. Wenn ich allerdings in die Arztpraxen gehe und da jetzt gucke, wie viele Leute haben das, findet man natürlich viel mehr positive Fälle. Und wenn man dann ins Krankenhaus geht und bei denen jetzt eine Probe nimmt auf Coronaviren, den Test macht, dann wird man bei noch mehr Menschen eine Corona-Infektion finden. Das heißt, je nachdem, welche Anteile der Bevölkerung ich untersuche, die Normalbevölkerung, die Leute im Wartezimmer von Ärzten, die Leute in der Klinik, oder wenn ich das untersuche bei Menschen, die sterben, die sehr, sehr krank sind auf der Intensivstation, dann werde ich immer, das ist zu erwarten, immer diese 7 bis 15% dabei auch Coronaviren finden. Ob sie daran sterben oder ob sie an anderen Erregern sterben und Coronavirus nur dabei ist, kann ich damit noch nicht sagen. Das heißt, wenn ich jetzt in Italien gucke, oh, die sterben alle, dann möchte ich wissen, wo sind die Tests genommen worden? Wie hat man die wenigen Tests, die zur Verfügung stehen, wo hat man sie benutzt? Wenn man sie im Krankenhaus benutzt hat, bei Schwerkranken, bei Sterbenskranken, dann steigt natürlich die Todesrate an Corona, weil das so aussieht einfach nur, weil man da hingeguckt hat. Also Mortalität, krankheitsspezifische Mortalität. Das heißt, wenn jemand eine definierte Krankheit hat, wie viel Prozent sterben dann davon, an dieser Krankheit? Und wir haben bei der akuten Atemwegserkrankung, der saisonalen akuten Atemwegserkrankung, die wir im Volksmund Grippe nennen, haben wir eine Mortalität normalerweise von 0,1%. Das ist schon die Obergrenze eigentlich. Das heißt, es sterben einer auf 1000. Von 1000 Einwohnern stirbt an Grippe. Jeden Winter. Und da müssen wir jetzt nachgucken, ist das mehr oder ist das nicht mehr durch Coronaviren? Und das kann man jetzt so machen, wenn in Deutschland zum Beispiel 20.000 bis 30.000 Menschen, das ist das, was man annimmt, mehr sterben durch diese Grippe, als üblicherweise ohne Grippe sterben würden. Das nennt man Übersterblichkeit. So, jetzt wissen wir, dass die Coronaviren immer ungefähr 5 bis 14% ausmachen. Sagen wir mal um die 10%, um es einfacher zu rechnen. Nehmen wir uns an, wir hätten die vergangenen Jahre im Krankenhaus die schwerkranken Menschen dort untersucht mit einem Test auf Coronaviren. Das ist natürlich nicht geschehen. Dann hätten wir in den vergangenen Jahren damit rechnen müssen, immer 2.000 bis 3.000 Menschen, die sterben an Atemwegserkrankungen, gefunden zu haben, bei denen auch Coronaviren nachweisbar waren. Und da sind wir ja jetzt noch weit von weg. Es ist offensichtlich so, dass hier Virologen etwas Interessantes gemacht haben. Und mit diesem Interessanten haben sie auch die chinesische Regierung sehr, sehr stark beeindruckt. Die chinesische Regierung hat daraus einen riesen Buhai gemacht. Das war politisch sehr wichtig plötzlich. Das ging aus dem virologischen Rahmen völlig raus. Es wurde plötzlich überall Gesichtserkennung an den Flughäfen montiert. Es wurde Fieber gemessen. Das Fieberthermometer regelte den Verkehr in Chinas Straßen. Und das ist eine Sache, die war natürlich so bedeutsam, dass das hat und die Politik sich darum gekümmert hat und Stellung nehmen musste. Und da waren dann die Virologen wieder, die sagten, die Politik hat sich umgeguckt, das kam von den Virologen Also haben sie die eigenen Virologen gefragt und die meinten auch, das sei wichtige Sache und da müssten wir können einen Test machen, wir können euch helfen, dass wir das auch wie in China dann sehen können. Also das heißt, da ist was gesponnen worden. Ein Netz von Informationen, von Meinungen hat sich entwickelt in diesen Fachkreisen und die Politik hat sich an diese Fachkreise gewandt, die damit angefangen haben, hat sich das angezogen, dieses Netz, und hat sich in diesem Netz bewegt auch. Und das hat dazu geführt, dass die Politik sich aus dem Fenster hängt und diese Argumente praktisch benutzt, auch um einzuschätzen, wem geholfen werden muss, was da an Notmaßnahmen geschieht, was verboten werden muss, wer in Quarantäne muss, all diese Dinge, die sind davon abgeleitet. Und das heißt, dass jetzt es ganz, ganz schwer wird für Kritische zu sagen, halt, da ist aber gar nichts los. Und das erinnert mich an das Märchen mit dem König, ja, der eben gar keine Kleider anhatte. Und nur ein kleines Kind, was dann da sagte, er ist ja nackig. Das heißt, die anderen, die Hofschranzen, um die Regierung rum sind, mit denen die Regierung um Rat fragt, weil sie selber keine Ahnung haben kann, sind ja keine Fachleute, die haben das alles mitgemacht, die haben hofiert. Und so werden jetzt auch die Politiker hofiert von vielen Wissenschaftlern. Wissenschaftler, die wichtig sein wollen in der Politik, weil sie Gelder brauchen für ihre Institute. Wissenschaftler, die dann in diesem Mainstream mitschwimmen und die auch was haben wollen. Wir können auch helfen. Wir haben eine App und wir haben ein Datenprogramm. Wir können das machen. Da gibt es ganz viele, die sagen, hier, wir wollen da auch helfen. Das heißt, sie wollen auch Geld verdienen damit und wollen wichtig werden damit. Aber da fehlt bei uns so diese nüchterne Betrachtungsweise, die einfach mal fragt, und woran habt ihr das erkannt, dass es gefährlich ist? Wie war es denn vorher? Hatten wir das nicht letztes Jahr auch schon? Ist das überhaupt was Neues?
Ja.
Das fehlt. Und es ist wirklich so, der König ist nackt.
Good. Yeah. He raises some good points there, man.
Yeah, he sure does. And coming from somebody who's actually studied this kind of stuff, who's a expert in that field, that makes his opinion valid. But of course, anybody who steps up and says, there's nothing to see here, when in the midst of everybody else, submitting and conforming and believing, you're just going to sound like you're just going to sound like an idiot. You're going to sound like, well, don't you understand? People are dying from this. This is a pandemic. Don't you see how many people are dying?
Whoops, wrong number. Okay.
But it really is affecting us. It's just not totally affecting us the way that they say it's affecting us.
Sorry about that, Michael Fontaine. I had the wrong number up there for a second, and I actually had the line shut down there for a second because I was running out of time. So if you want to go ahead and try to chime in again, we got the line back up now, and that's the correct number, 720-835-5632. And the PIN, of course, is 96170. For all those that don't know, operators are sitting down.
That's not the PIN number for your debit card, too, is it?
You weren't supposed to say that.
Oh,
man.
yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Hey, you bring up a good point about debit cards, though, is like after this crisis is over, do you have a feeling that our economics will change as well? I mean, are we going to stop using the dollar now?
There's been talk about it. There is an agenda to try to remove cash out of our current system, to make everything digital currency, where everything is on a chip or a card. It'll make it a lot harder for people to spend nefariously or to ever buy something without there being a transaction history that it occurred.
Lorraine says, points out the fact I said sitting down. Yeah, most of the time when they say operators are standing by, it kind of makes you think in your head, well, why are they standing by? Why can't they be sitting in a chair? Or aren't they sitting in a chair? You know?
And why do I need to know their sexual orientation?
Huh?
I don't care if they're bi or if they're straight or if they're gay. It makes no
Oh,
difference to me.
they're standing by, standing by.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Oh man, this has not been one of our best shows, has it?
I wouldn't say it's on our top 10 list by any stretch of the imagination. Hey, but we're plugging through it nevertheless. It's hard
Oh
to
yeah,
be on your A game when you got subpar groceries in your system, you know?
yeah. You know, that's another thing is I I know why we're not getting many views because I didn't have my lucky taco salad today.
I know, right? And I had to
Yeah.
buy an off-brand pizza that tasted like crap. I normally make a pizza on Taco Tuesday just because I
Yeah.
like to go against the grain, you know?
Oh yeah. You like to do an Italian version of Taco Tuesday, and I get that. Michael Fontaine says he wasn't calling; he was listening to the show, and his internet cut out. So that might be another issue we might be having. Maybe everyone's
When
internet's
I when I logged out and came back in, I got a pop up from StreamYard telling me that Facebook live streams are glitching out right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that they're looking into it.
Hmm.
Good thing
Let
we're
them
not
know.
on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that might tie into what we're doing as well.
That's the other thing that I've heard people, people whispering in corners saying that that they believe that there's a remote possibility at the very least that the internet could go down at some point here in the next little bit, next few days, and if that and it has already happened in other places where they're under lockdown. In Germany, they lost internet for a couple of days. In Italy, they lost internet for a couple of days. I mean, is all of a sudden being cut off from information. Now that would be scary. I mean, I guess if you still have cable or a AM FM radio alarm clock or something, you still might be able to get information that way. But
Let me ask you this about the information. Have you noticed that coronavirus information actually has been slowing down? Like when it first started airing, that the when it first started showing up around the United States, that's all you would see: coronavirus this, coronavirus that.
I mean, they're still doing a press conference every day. But as far as like the YouTube channels are concerned, yeah, it does look like they have slowed down just a little bit. But I don't know. I think people are just kind of waiting to see what the next development's going to be and how long this lockdown is actually going to last. The jury still seems to be out on exactly how much longer we're going to have to endure this and just how bad it's really going to get before it starts to get better. Everybody's just kind of patiently waiting to see what's going to, what's going to happen when the other shoe drops.
Yeah, my shoes don't drop that often, because I do try to keep them tied, but every once in a while you'll get up and you'll step on the back of your heel and your shoe will come off at just the wrong moment.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I need smaller shoes.
Yeah, either that or you need to try double knotting them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sometimes what I used to do is I had these. Do you remember the old shoes? Start. Was it Starter? What was the name of those shoes? They had like back in the 70s and early 80s. I had a pair of those. What were they called? Tiny Tims? No, not Tiny Tims. Sid Johnson's. What were the name of the shoes, man? I need some help here. Come on, help me out.
I can't think of it. I'm sorry.
Oh man, maybe they were called Tim Robbins.
I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, doggone it. These things had some long ass shoestrings. I mean, they would go. You could lace them all the way up, and the dang shoestrings would still be at around your ankle. You'd have to. What I would often find myself doing is tying them from. I'd wrap them all the way to the back of my ankle to the front and tie them up double, and that usually kept them from getting untied. But the only problem with that is the string would rub the back of my ankles, and
Wow.
that would be something that would really grind my gears. You know what I mean?
Okay. I can see how that would be, hitting your ankles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So now I know where your gears are. They're in your ankles.
well, yeah, that's where the gears are.
Oh yeah.
The ankles, the knees, the elbows. That's all your gears.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I should have known that.
But Lorraine Moore says Buster Browns. No, Lorraine, that's not what the ones I was thinking about. But I think was there? Oh, Chuck Taylor's. Yeah, Chuck Taylor's. That's what I was talking about.
Chuck Taylor. She said all kinds of names that sounded nothing like Chuck Taylor.
I know, right? Yeah. Let me check the phones real quick. Hello. Well, nobody's calling. Maybe I should call myself.
Okay.
You will be No, I don't want to end the conference. Damn it. I hate this phone. Anyway, yeah, I had some good Chuck Taylors, man. I had high tops. That's the kind of shoes you want, man, and especially in situations like these where you're having to wade through a lot of you know what.
A lot of Chuck.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, there doesn't seem to be anybody calling. So what do you say we give this room a final shout out and put a bow on this one?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like the energy I'm feeling right now too. Is we've kind of at this point we're at the risk of just repeating ourselves.
Oh yeah, man,
Since nobody wants to call in and share their story, I don't see no reason to do that.
I'll tell you what, brother. Here's you're right. You're absolutely right. You repeat yourself is when you're eating a burrito and then you burp it back up. That's called repeating on you.
Oh yeah, good to know. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, no problem, man. You know what they say, Sharon is Karen. All right, here we go. We've got Eddie Von Keen is in the house tonight. He's in the house tonight and the house tonight. Eddie Von Keen is not allowed tonight. He's not allowed tonight. He's not allowed tonight. He eats his garlic. Oh yeah, he eats his garlic raw like a man.
Because he's the real one.
That's right. Lorraine Lamore is here. Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
Michael Fontaine.
All right. Armor Up's in here with a claw.
All right. At least somebody's got the proper tools around here.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I tell you what, you gotta have the proper tools, especially if you're trying to board your house up from toilet paper thieves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So far that's all I'm seeing. I will mention one thing though. Go-Kart Bob was here. Pre-Liminal was here. He exited way early. And that's all I see for right now. So if you guys wanted your name shouted out, I'm sorry we didn't get to do so. And I would like to say one thing, man. Not every single one of our shows is going to be about the let me whisper in your ear, coronavirus.
So, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And admittedly, this probably isn't one of our better Taco Tuesdays we've ever had, guys. But I think with the way everybody's feeling right now, it's just really hard to stay positive and upbeat and not let the panic ensue. But I'm telling you, it is going to get better. Things are going to change, but sometimes change can be good. And I think one of the positive things that's becoming of all this is a lot of people who are normally caught up in their everyday rat race life and trying to just get up and go to work every day and make ends meet. They're actually being forced to sit home and pay attention, and they're watching and they're seeing all this crazy stuff happening, and they're seeing what people are saying in the news, and they're seeing the talking heads get exposed. And I really do think that this is causing a lot of people to wake up to just how biased and just how much propaganda the media really is full of. And I really do think that the positive outcome from this could be more people start seeing things for what they really are versus what they try to make us believe they are. And if that ends up being the outcome from, I guess you could call it a silver lining, or the one positive thing that could come from all this. And that's really my final thought. I hope everybody out there is safe. Everybody, don't forget to check on your family members and your friends, especially older people. Keep them in your thoughts and in your prayers. And that's really it. Everything's canceled, my man.
Yeah, that's that's a good point you bring up, and I gotta plug one show while we're on here. Well, two shows actually, because his show comes on before mine does. We got to plug Wednesday Word. We haven't done that in a while. Let me go ahead and take this banner, by the way. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry the phone calls didn't work out tonight. But anyway, Wednesday Word. Don't forget to watch Armor Up's Wednesday Word. That's this Wednesday at, I think it's 9 p.m. Central. I guess 10 p.m. No, wait. Am I saying that wrong? Is it 9 p.m. where he's at?
Yeah, it would be 9 p.m. his time.
Okay. 9 p.m. his time. Hey, Awake and Activate is in there. I'll be gosh darn. Well, you know what she's saying? She's saying we're not showing live in the subscription feed. Okay. That makes sense. No wonder we've only got 4 viewers.
Yeah, that would explain that. But
Wow.
It is what it is. There's not much we can do about it.
No, I don't know what's going on there. I guess that must be happening to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the internet is janky tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, doesn't matter. There'll be a lot of people hopefully on the rewatch. I guess next time we do a live stream, I'm going to send it out to all the Facebook peeps.
All right, sounds like a plan. Yeah, and I promise everybody by this time next Tuesday, I'll have a lot more interesting information to share with you guys. I'll make an honest effort to find something that's also not coronavirus related, but interesting and fun and interactive for us to do, because we need more of that and less of the other, I think, in our lives right now.
Oh, definitely, man. Let's get back to talking about things like space continuum and people.
And how we like our nachos, stuff like that. Important things.
Yeah. Important things. I will say this though. One more thing on the subject. This is actually kind of funny. As you're going through Facebook, you check out memes and stuff, and you reminded me of something that somebody said about. Well, now I forgot it. Well, never mind, folks. Thanks for watching Taco Tuesday. Oh man, but I do want to plug one more show though. I want to plug Thirsty Thursday. I missed the last one, and this Thursday, instead of showing all the Jesus of Nazareth stuff, I have a few clips that I found interesting that come from cousin Marcus. Oh wait, am I saying that right?
I don't know.
Wait, it's not cousin brother Marcus.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I mean, unless he's your cousin.
Yeah, no. Me and him don't even talk, so I don't know. Well, you never know. I mean, my family is from Chicago, so just saying. Not my family, my dad's family, my real dad, my biological dad. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Taco Tuesday, all 8 of you. I really appreciate that. That was good of you. And like Sagittariusly speaking says, we will have better days. We will have better days than this. My mama said, we will have better days. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Take care out there. And Father's blessings and love to each and every one of you. And if somebody wants to join us backstage after the show, that'd be all right too. Good night, everybody. Well, that was a taco crack of a show.